feel like buying a car is more stressful than a tax audit? You're not alone. Welcome to the Keys to the Deal podcast, Drive Away Happy. I'm your host, Kathie the Car Mama. With over 30 years as an auto industry insider and negotiation ninja, I've seen it all. I'll spill the tea on finance jargon, sneaky sales tactics, and share real-world stories. This podcast is for anyone overwhelmed by the car market. We'll share practical tips, strategies, and funny anecdotes to help you save thousands, avoid pitfalls, and drive away with confidence. So buckle up, laugh a little, and let's skip the hassle and drive away happy. All right, so we are here this morning, episode 2. Got my coffee, gotta have that. Love my caramel macchiato. I am on a caffeine high, and we are ready to roll. I want to go through my notes first because I want to make sure that we've got everything covered today. Today, we are talking about credit score lies and red flags with dating. So they go hand in hand. For anybody just watching, I am Kathie the Car Mama, and I am here to give you all the info you need to make the best car buying decision possible. So let's jump into episode 2, Keys to the Deal. The first thing that I want to talk about is basically when I say that the credit score lies and red flags in dating are almost the same. And the reason I say that is because the wrong match either way can cost you so much money, time, effort. Everything that goes into either dating or buying a car can be a problem, and you can lose out a lot. You want to make sure that you know all of these things and catch these red flags when you are shopping for a car and possibly dating so that you don't have to worry about it. And you can be informed and not have to worry about that stuff. That's why I'm going to take some extra time, and I'm also going to show you some of my TikTok videos that also go into detail as well. So you have some reference points as well. But let's have some fun. Let's start going. Let's get into those red flags. You got to watch these things, and sometimes you don't notice the red flags. Just like when you're shopping for a car, you're so excited about the car. You drove it, everything was good, so you are not focused on anything other than I need to get this car in my driveway. Let's look at the first TikTok video so that we can reference what I am talking about. Are dealerships lying when they tell you it's only a soft pull on your credit? Let's go. So the short answer is yes. Some dealers will tell you that it's a soft pull to your credit, and they're being very misleading because it's a hard inquiry. So the biggest thing is you cannot, it is not a soft pull if you are asking for a loan. That is a fact. They can't tell you anything different. They will try and get you and say, oh no, it's just a soft pull. It's kind of like, just that dude who says, I really like you. I'm not looking for anything serious. So, you don't have to worry about getting controlled or anything like that. We're just hanging out and having fun. It's the same thing that the dealership is telling you when they're like, oh, it's just a soft pull. You won't be committed to us. It's fine. You can shop around or date around. The second they pull that, they shotgun your credit out. And then your score goes down. And then when you say, you know what, I didn't want this. I wanted to be treated a little bit better. I'm going to go looking around. They're like, oh, well, your credit score's already gone down 20 points because of us. So you probably won't get a better rate at another dealership. And that's why they do it. So make sure that you don't fall for that. Do not give them your credit until you have decided on the car, the selling price of the car, and everything else is taken care of. Let's talk about saving money on interest rates. Check out this TikTok.
How exactly do you save money on interest by putting no money down at the dealership? I'm going to tell you. Let's go. So I made a video earlier telling people not to put money down at the dealership. And car people on here popped a hemorrhoid and were all up in arms that I was giving bad advice. Now I'm going to explain in detail why that is beneficial for you. And make sure you save this video and watch it all the way to the end so you get a complete understanding. First and foremost, auto loans are simple interest loans. And what that means is that the interest is accrued on a daily basis on the principal balance that is owed. So if you wait until the day the car is due, you are charged the full interest amount. But here's how you fix that. Make extra payments directly to the lender. That way, when they do their daily accrual of your interest, your balance is lower so that you are not charged as much interest and you're not going to pay that interest. But now you're asking, why don't I just put the money down up front at the dealership? I'm going to tell you why. Banks only loan a certain amount based on the vehicle's value. So if you're putting money down, that gives the dealership more money to work with to add extra shit onto the car that you didn't ask for. So here's an example for you. You're looking at a car. It's $30,000 at the dealership. The bank runs it and says, yeah, okay, it's worth $30,000. We will loan $30,000. But the dealership says, well, you need to put $10,000 down so that you don't pay as much in interest. That's not the case. What they're doing is they're freeing up that extra $10,000 so they can add paint and fabric protection, wheel locks, etch, door guards, service contract, gap, tire and wheel, dent and ding, everything else that they can put on the car so that $10,000 you thought you were saving, you're not. You're just freeing up money for them to spend for you. It's kind of like the government. So don't put any money down. Tell them you only want to buy the car. They have to just sell you the car because that's the only thing the bank's going to approve you for. And then when you get your first payment, you take that $10,000 and you send it into the bank. That way you know that it is going towards the principal. I hope this information helps. And if you don't want to deal with the dealerships, just hire me and I'll do it for you. And for all the salespeople out there, if you're tired of being order takers, I got a solution for you too.
Yeah. I wanted to play that whole one because there was a lot of information to unpack. So, and I think, I think I said it really well. I always like listening to myself. I'm like, damn, she's smart. Love it. So, the biggest thing you want to think about when you are getting a car loan is that it is a simple interest loan. So when they tell you that, you need to put this much down and the banks are asking for this much down, that is another thing that is a red flag. When a dealer looks at you and says, the bank is requiring $10,000 down, that is actually not the case. The bank is saying, this car is only worth X amount of dollars, so this is what we're going to loan is X amount of dollars. If the dealership is either one, overcharging for the vehicle, and I want to make this very clear. I'm not talking about every single dealership. I am giving you the information so that when you see a shady red flag dealer, you know to run like hell. But not all dealers are like this. But there are some that inflate the price of the car. They add all of these extra add-ons and then tell you that the bank won't loan you the money unless you put X amount of dollars down. It's not the case because the bank doesn't give a shit. And at the end of the day, if the bank was asking for the money down, when you put your down payment, why aren't you making the check out to the bank? If it was the bank who was asking for the money. You're not. You're making it out to the dealership because at the end of the day, the dealership is the one that owns that vehicle and you are purchasing that from them. You are borrowing the money to purchase it from them from the bank. So it's not the bank that's asking. The bank is saying this car is worth this. So I want you to keep that in mind when you are looking. And then last but not least, when it comes to the red flags that are on, it is, do I fill out a credit app? So let's look at that one.
Do not fill out that credit app at the dealership. Let's go. Why not fill out the credit app? Because you're there to buy a car. You're not there to open a bank account. So why the hell do they need your credit app before you even look at the car and agree to numbers? I'm going to tell you why. They just want to see your credit so they know how bad they can screw you over and how far they can mark up the rate without you questioning why your rate's so high. So now I'm going to tell you the truth about how it works with compliance when it comes to filling out your credit app at the dealership and actually getting numbers. They tell you, oh, we can't give you an accurate payment unless we pull your credit and submit you to the banks, which is simply not true because even when they take your credit, they still give you a range. So if they have you approved, can't they give you the to the penny payment? Of course not. They're not going to do that. So here's the truth about the law. The law states that if you have not run credit, then you have to give a person an average interest rate. So it's a rolling 90-day interest rate if you haven't pulled credit. So that they can give you, let's say it's 9% is the average rate right now. They can show you a payment based on 9%. It'll go up or down depending on whether or not you get approved. Now, if they do pull your credit, they are actually required to give you the to the penny payment based on the rate you are approved at. Not this range of if you put down $1,000, it could be anywhere from $400 to $450. They have to give you the accurate one. So they're actually kind of shooting themselves in the foot by asking for your credit. You just don't know that. So make sure that you have gotten the price you want, you have negotiated the car, you have done all of this before you give them your credit, because it's not necessary for you to find out whether or not you want the car or you can buy the car. Your credit has nothing to do with it. Why don't they try selling the car before they try selling you all the bullshit that goes along with it?
Yeah. Because that is a fact. And most people don't know that is the law, that if you are running credit, you have to give an accurate to the penny payment based on the rate that they're approved at. Here is the best thing for you to do. Make sure when you go into the dealership that you are looking at the car when they say, well, we need a credit app. I have actually had some clients that hired me that went into a dealership. And unfortunately, it's mostly women that this happens to. They go into the dealership, they're like, I want to test drive this car. And they are actually told you can't test drive until you fill out a credit app. So they don't want to sell them a car. They want to sell them all the bullshit first and then go, okay, now we've got you. You have to buy all this. We can mark your rate up 2 points based on your credit. We can do all this stuff. Okay, now let's see what car will fit. This is the only car that'll fit your budget. Because if they sold you the car you wanted, they wouldn't be able to put all that other bullshit onto it. You do not have to fill out a credit app. Just like if you go to Target to buy a pair of jeans, they don't have somebody standing with a cash register at the fitting rooms going, hang on a second, you're going to have to buy those jeans first before you try them on. It doesn't work that way. So keep that in mind. You definitely want to not fill out the credit app until you have decided on the car and worked the numbers and gotten the price that you want. It's just like with dating. You know, when you think about a date and you think about, them asking for stuff like that, it's a first date with a guy. If you talk about going on a first date with a guy and his response is, well, I'm going to need you to go ahead and cook a meal for me and have sex with me so I can make sure that you kind of work out before we even go on a date and I decide whether or not I fucking like you. So same thing. That is a total red flag if a dude asks you that. Just like a dealership is a total red flag if they ask you to fill out a credit app before you can even test drive the car. So keep all of that in mind. And it makes it so much easier when you're in there. Stand up with confidence and say, look, dude, this ain't working out this way because Kathie the Car Mama says so. And if you would like to follow me on TikTok and see all of my videos, those are a couple that I just showed you. I have lots on there, gives you all the information you need. make sure that you follow me at Kathie the Car Mama, and you see it right there, spelled with an IE, not a Y. And check me out on TikTok and Instagram. All those videos are up there. Now that we've gotten through that, I just want to make sure that I get everything. That's why I have notes. Let's talk about, one that I don't have a video for, and I definitely want to make it, but this is very important. When you finally do figure out the car that you want, and you have picked the car, you've gotten the price that you want, you've gotten all the information you need, and you fill out that credit app. And then they tell you, well, your credit score isn't high enough, so your rate's going to be this. That pisses me off because I don't know how many times I have worked with a client and they have been told your credit isn't good enough. Your rate's going to be 22%. I'm going to give you an actual real world scenario. I had a client that was in Jersey. They told her it would be a 22% interest rate. I was like, I don't know what you're smoking there, but you need to stop. Here is where you should send it. And I told them which bank to send it to. And I told them where and how they needed to structure the deal because I've been doing this for 30 years. I know exactly what the bank is looking for. So they restructured the deal and sent it to the bank that I told them to. She was approved at a 12% interest rate. They were going to sign her at 10 points higher. If she hadn't hired me, that's exactly the rate she was going to get because they had it marked up. They had, and banks pay differently. So keep that in mind as well. Sometimes your best approval is not going to be the one that the dealership uses because the other bank that is 1 or 2 points higher pays the dealership more. So they want to use that bank. It's almost like dating and gaslighting. Like when you say, well, I'm going to go to a different dealership or a different bank because they're going to give me a better one. And they're telling you, well, we ran your credit and it's really not that good. So we're the best you're ever going to get. It's the same thing a dude says when you're like, you know what? I ain't taking this bullshit anymore. I'm going to go ahead and start dating and looking for other people. And they start telling you, well, it's all your fault. You are the reason that I act this way. You're the reason, and you're not going to get any better than me. Red flags, dating, car shopping, it is all the same. You can correlate what a dealership does to you compared to the most toxic fucking relationship you've ever had in your life. That is why people absolutely despise going in to buy cars because it is like a toxic relationship. You know, it's that relationship that you have finally broken it off with them. You've moved out of the house, but you still have a few things you have to go over and pick up. And you know damn good and well that fucker's going to be sitting there on the couch waiting for you as soon as you get there to pick up your stuffed animal and your Ugg boots that you forgot the day you left. That's what it's like at a dealership. You dread going in there because you know it is going to be a hassle, a headache, and a bunch of bullshit when all you want to do is pick up the car you want. You found it. You know it's the one. It's ridiculous. That is the red flags and the credit score lies. Let's go into credit score reality check so that you can understand. The best way for you to get the best deal possible at the dealership. Go to your local credit union. Go to your bank that you bank at. Get a pre-approval. If you do not have above average credit to be able to qualify at a credit union, let's say you have some challenges on your credit. It's not horrible, but it's not that great right now. Go to Capital One Auto Navigator and you can actually apply for a pre-approval. The best part about Cap One Auto Navigator is once you apply there, the dealership cannot mark up your rate because you are locked in as a Cap One customer. They cannot make any money except for a flat fee that Capital One pays them for doing the deal. So make sure you get a pre-approval. You walk in there confident, saying, I know what my credit is. I know what I qualify for. I got all this information ahead of time. You need to have all that. You need to check your auto FICO score. Don't look at Credit Karma. Credit Karma it's based on whether or not you get approved for a credit card, because everybody has dozens of credit scores. You don't just have 3, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. You don't just have those. You have a credit score based on whether or not you're getting a mortgage. You have a credit score based on whether or not you're getting a credit card. You have a credit score based on whether or not you're getting a car. And that is called a FICO Auto 8 or FICO Auto 9, depending on what the dealerships are using now. You can get that score. You just need to go to your annual credit report or something like that. There's a couple of different places you can get it at, but make sure you're looking at your FICO Auto Score and know that you can confidently walk in there and say, I know for a fact my FICO Auto Score is this. So don't try to play some games, because what they'd like to do is they like to pull all 3 and use the lowest score that pops up so they can mark your rate up and go, well, your score is only a 685. When you're like, I know damn good and well TransUnion is a 710. So we're going to base it on that. Especially if you're in the Midwest, TransUnion is the big one that the banks use. West Coast, it is Equifax. East Coast is more Experian. So that's why a lot of people in the Midwest, their Equifax score is higher, because most Midwest companies don't report to that because they got to pay for every one of them. That's more a West Coast thing. So keep that in mind as well. Look at where you're at. Find out which one is used the most. Normally it's TransUnion, so check your TransUnion FICO Auto Score. And then you'll know, this is what I've got. Same way, I mean, that's just like with dating now. Your best case scenario is before you go on a date from a first date, I'd be running a background check, maybe even running a FICO credit score. Like, I'd be looking at their TikTok, I'd be looking at their Instagram, and I'd go back a couple of years. Make sure that you are doing all your research before you walk into a nightmare. It's the same thing. Look at the dealership too. Check their fucking Google reviews. Like, if you're a single female that is walking into a dealership and you look at their reviews and all the females are giving them 1 star because I was treated like garbage and they asked me when my husband was going to show up to help me buy a car, that's not the place you want to go to, and they can fuck themselves. I can't stand that shit. I see it all the time. Keep all that in mind while you're doing it. We are coming to the end, and as always, we do speed dating for cars. So if this is your first time watching, speed dating for cars is I pick a car once a week, and I give you what the personality of this car would be if it was a human. So this week, we are doing the Ford Bronco Sport. Isn't it pretty? Now, your first question is, what kind of personality is a Ford Bronco Sport? I've got a picture for reference because some people my age won't know what this is, but meet the VSCO girl. She has grown up. She is no longer just living her best life with her little Miata top down, having fun. She's actually a mom now. She has grown up. She needs a cool, sporty car still, but it's still got to be, it's got to fit the kids. The Bronco Sport meets the VSCO girl. And I think everybody knows now you're going to look it up and you're going to be like, oh my God, yeah, okay, I get it now. But for all you young Gen Zs, you are probably laughing your ass off right now because you know it's true. That is the speed dating for this week. And if any of you would like to leave a comment, let me know what vehicle you would like me to speed date, and I will get that for you. I'll get you all the information you need. But it has been a pleasure. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you can see every episode. They drop Tuesday mornings on all of the channels that you currently have. I need to get some more coffee because I'm out now. But it has been great. If you would like to follow me on TikTok, you can check out my website, keystothedeal.com. It has all the links to my socials. And I go live Monday through Friday on TikTok from 2 to 4, and I do live question and answer. And you can also leave a comment, leave some questions. I am going to start answering questions from my subscribers that want me to give you an in-depth detail of things. I'm going to have some guests on the show. I might even think about actually picking someone that has left a question that needs a whole lot of answers to, having them come on the show so that we can dive deep into their dilemma with the car shopping. As always, if you need me, you definitely know where to find me now. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, and now here's my podcast. So you get all the info you need. It has been a pleasure, and I will see you guys next week.